Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I would like to make a quick video. This is being filmed on a Monday about taking advantage of fresh starts. And you can look at fresh starts as anything, and that's why I think that you definitely need to take advantage of them, because a fresh start can be a new week, it can be a new day, it can be a new hour, it could be a new chapter of your life. It could be, are you moving? Are you going through transition? All of those things cause us to bring our awareness to the fact that we are going through a fresh start and we are presented with a fresh start. And it is up to us on how we view that and how we think of that. And what I mean by that is I don't feel like we always consciously recognize when we are being given a fresh start. I think that sometimes we get wrapped up in thinking, that maybe it feels bad or it feels scary or something bad happened. Let's say you lose your job. The first thought in your mind is not going to be like, oh, well, this is such a fresh start for me. I get to move on. I get to choose my career. I get to whatever. The first thought is, oh my goodness, this stinks. How am I going to pay my bills? Now I have to find a new job. Say you were at a job that you really enjoyed. You're like, what if I don't find another job that I enjoy the way I like this job? There are many benefits to this job. Those are the things that initially run through your mind. But I encourage you to, once you have processed that emotion and once you have processed the shock of change, to really get into the feeling of it being beneficial, of it being a fresh start, of it being something that you are then able to dictate the outcome. Maybe not word for word, maybe not exactly, but you are able to dictate the outcome to a certain extent by changing your perspective. And when you change your perspective, you are then able to handle anything that life throws at you, because life is all about perspective. It's not about exactly what happens, it is about your reaction to it and your perspective opinion about it. So that is what I want to say. And so that was an example of something coming kind of unexpectedly, like you lose your job out of nowhere. That can be a fresh start for you. But also, we get a fresh start every single day. And it's a fresh start, not just because it's a brand new day, but you can feel totally different from one day to the next. You might have a really bad day one day. It might be very frustrating. It might be very, you could be very down. You could go to sleep that night and wake up in a totally different state of mind. And to me, that is magical. That is magic, because to know that 8 hours can make the world of difference really is able to, if you're able to remind yourself of that the next time you're having a hard day or you need that fresh start, just remind yourself that tomorrow is a brand new day. Tomorrow is the day that you could feel totally different about it. And now, don't go to sleep and wake up and do things to consciously get yourself back into that frustration. And what I mean by that is, say something is on your mind. The only thing that's coming to mind is something that I do, so I guess I have to share it. I'm house hunting right now, and it is, to say that house hunting is a roller coaster of emotions is putting it nicely. So one day I'm having a frustrating day house hunting. And, I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow's a brand new day. I might feel totally different. And I go to bed. If I were to make up in that morning and just jump right back into house hunting off the bat and to do the same things that were causing me frustration the night before, really not doing myself any service. And I am then taking that fresh start and I'm kind of erasing it and just blending it into the frustration from the day before. So don't expect a fresh start and then consciously do things that bring you back to what you were needing that fresh start from. So it is kind of like a hand in hand. You need to be conscious about it. Okay, so life, the divine is giving you a fresh start by, being able to reset, get some rest, wake up in the morning, totally fresh, totally new. But the other hand of that is you have to meet the divine halfway. The divine already gave you this gift of rest and, that rejuvenation, that reset of a good night's sleep, but don't regress by doing the same thing you did before and want a different reaction. We all know that is the definition of insanity. So when you need that fresh start, you put it to bed, you wake up in the morning, do something different. Do something different. You can't do the same things and expect a different result. You have to do something different if you want things to be differently. So maybe that's waking up. Maybe that's getting a little meditation. Maybe it's looking at gratitude. Maybe it is putting aside, for me it would be house hunting. Maybe it's putting that task aside for the day, or for a week, or for a few hours until you have your bearings put together. I know that I am extremely sensitive in the morning. So much so to the point where I do look at the weather on my phone, and I might glance at an email, but that's because emails aren't very triggering to me. Social media is triggering to me in the morning. And it's not just social media, it's also the people around me. If I get bombarded like first thing in the morning by almost anything, like if you start asking me questions and I haven't been up for an hour, that is not the time to ask me questions, because it can take a simple question and it can turn it into something less simple. Let's just put it that way. It can completely affect my mood, and I'm like, why are you asking me this? I need some time. So I am conscious of that, and I negate that. I don't go on social media in the morning. I make it a conscious effort and plan to not be around people when I first get up. I need that hour or so. By the time I go downstairs, I have been up for over an hour usually. I am not someone who gets up and just goes downstairs, because I can't handle people around me talking to me and asking me questions first thing in the morning. So I understand that about myself. So I give myself every advantage in that department. And I encourage you to do the same, because fresh starts are wonderful, the new day is wonderful, but if you consciously just ruin it or unconsciously ruin it, the fresh start isn't going to really do anything. So that's what I really want to talk about, is encouraging us to take advantage of these fresh starts. Like, this is a Monday, it's a brand new week. Let's take advantage of this Monday. Let's take advantage and look at our week and be like, listen, I have the ability to kind of form this week and to have this week, I don't want to say go the way you want, because that is just setting yourself up for failure. And that is one of the biggest, this is another video, but that is one of the biggest issues I sometimes have with positivity and the whole energy thing there. Envision your week, envision your drive to work being smooth and you not hitting traffic. Well, then when you hit traffic, it pisses you off 10 times more. So I'm not an advocate of you specifically designing your week. I have the faith in the divine, that divine knows what my best week would look like. And I just want to do my part to kind of set it up for the divine so the divine can hit it out of the park for me. And for me, that is, if you indulged over the weekend like I did, you can, let's get back to feeding yourself good things. Let's get back into that healthy mindset. Let's get back into that moving and that productivity that the work week brings to us. But let's also work in some things that are going to bring me joy. Let's work in a few things that are just for me. So that is what I mean about designing your week. I don't mean like this is a Monday and Monday I'm not going to hit any traffic all week driving to work. No one's going to bother me at work. Everyone's going to be so pleasant. And so you can do that as long as when it doesn't happen, it doesn't affect you. If you find that it doesn't happen and you get triggered or it pisses you off or it brings your vibration down, I advise you to be less specific. And I think that that is something uncommon because, in visualization, you have to know exactly what you want. You're trying to manifest a couch. You need to envision the couch, the color, how it feels when you sit down. But then you're like, well, I do need a couch, but I don't have the house yet. So how can I envision all of that? And then, when I'm envisioning a blue couch and a purple couch comes my way, I'm now a little bit disappointed and I'm peeved and I'm annoyed. So that's why sometimes being too specific in your visualizations can really set yourself up for failure. But if you set the intention to be in the flow of life, to be able to handle anything that comes your way with ease and grace, to be able to zoom out and see the big picture, these are the kinds of things that you should be setting your intentions for when you're going into a fresh start. Not play by play how things are going to happen, because you are really setting yourself up for disappointment and failure. Because remember, the divine has that aerial view, and that doesn't always coincide with exactly what you want. So when you are stepping into a fresh start, set intentions that are actually going to help you and not set yourself up for failure. Like, say you have a sales job and you're like, you normally do 25 sales a week, and you're like, and this week I'm going to do 50, and that is my greatest week. And you can do that, but when you end up at 27, you're going to be disappointed and you're going to be like, well, this doesn't work. But if you were to say, I want this to be my best sales week ever. I'm going to try my best and be in the flow of life. And I ask the divine that this be my best sales week ever. That I be on top of my game. That I serve my customers to the best of my ability. An intention like that sets you up for success. Something like, so if you end up, say you end up doing the exact same amount of sales, or even say you end up doing less sales, but you felt like you were on top of your game and you served your customers, and that could end up actually being the best sales week. Maybe it is you enjoyed this week more than any other week, and you were able to actually enjoy your job and not hate it. That's winning. So do you see the difference between saying, well, I'm going to do double my sales this week, and when you don't do double your sales, you're disappointed, rather than setting yourself up for a perspective, for a mood, for a way that you're going to move through your week? That is taking advantage of the fresh start, because you aren't putting these constraints on your good week, if that makes sense. So that is, I said it was going to be a quick video, but it's not a quick video, but that's okay. That is what I really wanted to talk about as far as fresh starts. My fresh starts for the weeks, my intentions for this week is to feed my body nourishing things, to dive more into my wellness practices. Like, I usually oil, pull, and tongue scrape in the morning. I've definitely gotten very far away from that. So I want to bring that back into my life. I want to change things up a little bit. I want to serve myself this week. I have already have one self-care thing going that I'm about to do, and I think I want another one. I think I want something else. You know, I want to utilize my time most productively this week, so I can be productive and I can feel good as I move through this week. And I like to pack a lot of my like productive things into the weekdays because I like to give myself the freedom to just relax and do whatever I want on the weekends. I mean, I meal prep on Sundays, but that's whatever. So, you know, it's doing the, you know, little product, like some things obviously I just have to wait until the weekend, like I need an oil change, but I can set my oil change up during the week. I try to pack that productivity on the week, so on the weekends I only have things to do that I have to do on the weekends. So that's my little tidbit of advice. Oh, my other intentions for the week. What else do I want to do this week? I would like to start thinking outside the box in my house hunting. There's no more. I just need to start thinking outside of the box because it's so crazy. Whatever. I'm not going to cry about it. Everything's happening for a reason. I'm having my full faith in the divine that everything is perfect right now. I'm still meant to be in the purple room. So, yeah, that's how I'll be moving through this week. And I encourage you to take advantage of the fresh start of the new week as well. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anne, and I hope to see you next time.